From Nepal to Morocco, Indonesia to Madagascar, Gen Z protests are rising everywhere. Thousands of protesters on the streets in one of the massive protests this year in Maldives. Demonstrators accuse the government of corruption in tourism projects and silencing critics. The protests echoed the same Gen Z frustration with inequality and lost opportunities, as we've seen in other parts of the world. Just a few days earlier, Morocco ignited as well. Capital Saleh's youth torched police cars and banks, and they were furious over 60% unemployment, while billions poured into the 2030 World Cup. 3 lives were lost, more than 1,000 were detained, and this is Morocco's biggest ever unrest since the Arab Spring. On the 25th of September, Madagascar, streets turned deadly. At least 22 people were killed in the deadly protest. They died. Protesters were furious over corruption and economic mismanagement. President Rajoelina dissolved his government, but demonstrators say change must go deeper. Then let's look at what's happening in Latin America. Peru also joined this trail of uprisings. Again, a similar Gen Z uprising here. Protests erupted on the 20th of September, and this is after revelations of corruption in infrastructure projects. Later, these clashes turned violent in capital Lima. Demonstrators accused leaders of enriching themselves while poverty soared in the country. The government now faces its gravest crisis since the pandemic. And more recently, in late September, Manila, Philippines, it also exploded. More than 200 people have been arrested. Citizens demanded answers after billions in flood relief funds vanished. Greenpeace, an environmental organization, says losses exceed $1.8 billion. In a storm-prone nation, anger focused on survival, not slogans. Then in Indonesia, the movement began in August. This is after the Jakarta government allotted over $3,000 of housing perks for lawmakers. By the 9th of September, these protests swelled into a wider rebellion against the elite and those who are privileged. Though people are calmer now, youth leaders vow reforms are non-negotiable.
Tolong dan berbagi kebaikan kepada sesama manusia. Kumpulan aksi demonstrasi sudahi penyiksaan yang terjadi. Hidup rakyat Indonesia! Hidup rakyat Indonesia! Hidup mahasiswa!
And then similar youth-led demonstrations also erupted across continents, from Asia to Africa and Europe. Serbia's youth protests against corruption and media freedom. The rallies became a blueprint for Gen Z-led mobilization. In Kenya, youth anger boiled over in 2024. Demonstrators stormed parliament, forcing president to dissolve his cabinet and drop a controversial tax bill.